Okay, so the original recording of this had really shitty audio. I might just dub it this time if it's still really quiet. Um, so yeah, I already made a review. This is going to be slightly more comprehensive for the last one, so good thing. CBR. So this recently came to mind because I remember seeing this article while looking up the Nina video, and recently I saw an article that was about the end of episode one of Invincible, as though that was something that is very shocking or newsworthy, like something happening in an episode. All right. Like, I read the comics, so I knew what was going to happen, but all right. They're just kind of useless for people who already read comics, if not just detrimental because they say a lot of dumb shit. And this is one of the dumb shits in here. You won't believe number two. Code Geass 10 things that make no sense about Nina Einstein. Nina played an important role in the story, but probably her character could have been a bit more consistently written. Jella Via Earhard, published October 29th, 2020. Poggers. I don't know why the fuck I said that. I'm kinda tired. Code Geass didn't predict a bright near future as the Holy Empire of Britannia, conquered Japan and named it Area 11. Dark anime fans were intrigued by this world building and the most of the characters. However, Lelouch's shy and intelligent classmate Nina Einstein raised a few questions because of her personality and how she developed over time. Nina Einstein, oh, yeah. Most fans didn't like her character and thought she was a little odd and didn't fit perfectly into the anime. Nina played an important role in the story, but probably her character could have been a little more consistently written. Her character probably could have been bit more consistently written. That's how you want to phrase it, just not something awkward like that. I know I'm saying a bunch of grammatically incorrect shit, but I'm doing this live. This person had probably like a day and a half to do it, this article. So I'm not going to give him or her any leeway. Him, her, they, whatever. Um, she was xenophobic. Okay. Fans were hoping to learn more about how really Nina was thinking of other nations or races. It seemed she had a numbing fear of 11s, which wasn't completely explained. In the series, Nina refers to a traumatic experience, insinuating she was attacked, but viewers didn't get a proper explanation behind her immoral thinking. Some fans found it odd to see such an intelligent person act so cruel and be so narrow-minded. It's because her country is racist. You have established that before. You have established it. Code Geass didn't predict a near-right future as the Holy Empire of Britannia conquered Japan and named it Area 11. They're literally calling people who are not of their race numbers and not people by proxy. So of course the nation would teach racism. It would be ingrained in their culture. Every nation that has degraded something has been racist to some extent. Like we have our World War II propaganda um calling like Germans and Japanese people shitbags. Like, we definitely have that, and like same thing with Vietnamese propaganda, or and then Korean propaganda towards Americans, just calling us shitbags and pigs and whatnot, and we're calling them. Well, I can't say that anymore because I'll get canceled before my career stops off. So, but yeah, you get the idea. Of course, racism would be ingrained in a culture, and somebody who is shy would be willing to latch on to the only thing that cares about her, i.e., her nation. Which goes on to the second point. Her obsessive love for Euphemia. Euphemia Lee Britannia was the third princess of the Britannian imperial family, and she saved Nina's life once. Nina was attacked when she called a Japanese person 11, and the princess stepped up to save her. From that moment, Nina was obsessed with Euphemia and even worshipped her. It was strange for fans to see how strongly Nina felt about her savior. Later, when Euphemia was killed by Zero, she pledged to kill him and the Black Knights. After that, she was taken by Schneisel to lead his rogue research team in Dallas. So, wanting to avenge the person who saved your life is obsessive. I'm You're not giving that much of a concrete example. I could give the fucking table. I could just say, okay, she had the table scene and she wanted to get to Euphemia even though Euphemia had freaking security guards and shit, royal security. I was about to say Secret Service, but no, that'd be a bit inaccurate. But yeah, she wanted to avenge the person who saved her life. There's nothing wrong with that. And on top of that, you already established that she is shy. So, of course, she would cling onto somebody who showed her enough affection that they would be really willing to risk their life for her. Of course, she would cling onto that person. Her table scene. Code Geass fans were baffled by the famous table scene in the first season's 12th episode. Fans felt like the scene made no sense and didn't understand why the scene had occurred in the first place. Everyone thought it was not necessary to the plot, nor a proper way to introduce the character. Well, good for you, because the character wasn't introduced in episode 12 of the first season, or as normal people call it, R1. Good job, fan. And, yeah, people use weird. Okay, wait. This whole entire thing isn't over. This scene ended up being one of the most popular Code Geass memes. Those who hated Nina's character called her Table Girl, or Table-chan. Table-chan's the term used to describe the table and how she fucking raped it. Um, But yeah, people use weird shit to masturbate. People use vegetation to masturbate. How how is that weird? Like how? How is that weird or inexplicable in any way? She was sexually repressed. She had feelings towards somebody who saved her life. Okay, L- like you don't even give an alternative. You can argue that the scene was pointless, kind of, because like her obsessiveness already shows when she tries to bomb a school. Columbine 2.0 over here. Her relationship with her classmates. Nina was seen as a shy person who had few friends at Ashford Academy. In the beginning, she appeared to have good friends, and she even cared about them. After Euphemia was killed in her rage, Nina decided to blow up the academy by arming Ganymede with her prototype Sakura-enhanced nuclear bomb. It was a huge surprise for fans because even if Nina figured some students were connected to Euphemia's death, it still didn't seem justified. She would have easily killed all her friends. That made no sense for fans, despite her being mentally unstable. You give your own explanation in the exact argument. You're not even countering that. You're not even countering the argument that she's mentally unstable. What? Okay, yeah, she's mentally unstable. The only person she really had an emotional relationship in Ashford, at least, was Millie. But even then, that was really surface level. It was just like, oh, hey, are you planning a school shooting? And she would say, oh, no, I'm not planning a school shooting. Meanwhile, she's polishing her fucking trench coat and her nuclear bomb. So yeah, you give your own explanation. Her being mentally unstable and her being obsessed with euthymia. Yes, people who are obsessed with single entities tend to be mentally unstable. And like she was like, oh hey, euphemia's dead. There's no reason for me to live. She was very much selfish because she had no interaction with any other people. She didn't want any interaction with any other people other than euphemia. Therefore, like when Euphemia died, she doesn't care about anything else in the world, let alone herself, let alone her classmates. She didn't seem to understand the power of the Flea bomb. This perplexes me because Albert Einstein didn't understand the power of the Fat Man, to my recollection. It was very disappointing moment when Nina realized what she had done. When she joined the research facility in Dallas, she was furious about Euphemia's death, was blinded by her rage. Still, fans couldn't comprehend why she would would not see the severity of her actions. Creating such a huge nuclear bomb would obviously kill millions of people. A scientist of her capability should have been able to see what she was about to create. Like, by how much? Okay, so obviously she knew she was going to kill people, but she didn't know it was going to be to that extent. Of course, Albert Einstein didn't know about that either. Oh yeah, her name's Einstein. How the fuck can you not connect the dots and realize that? Well, I mean, she's not it's not a one to one, but yeah, of course, if one of, if a person who is regarded as one of the smartest people on Earth cannot comprehend what they have created, indirectly created, like it was technically Oppenheimer, but whatever, then yeah, of course, some like, irrational teenage lesbian wouldn't fucking think about it. She acted erratically most of the time. You already said she was obsessed with euthymia. You already said she doesn't have many friends. Like, this is a misunderstanding of Nina's character. Her archetype is a school shooter archetype. She kind of acts irrationally. She's a racist who kind of acts irrationally a lot of the times. Cookie House Man's agreed. Her actions are very difficult to make sense of, but while people heard of the mad scientist scenario, it seems she was a bit too unhinged, especially for somebody who can build a working bomb that destroys 35 million people. What do you mean? What do you mean? People heard of the mad scientist scenario, but it was a bit too unhinged. 35 million people. Okay, Ozymandias killed 100 billion people, 100 million people. Sorry, whatever. Like, okay. I mean, you can argue that is apples to oranges because Ozymandias had an actual motivation, but I would also argue that didn't know how many people she would actually kill, and she would thought she was doing it for her nation because she has a dogmatic trust of her nation, as evidenced by her her blindingly hating Elevens, including Suzaku, despite him posing no threat, as well as being infatuated with Euphemia. I know all I've said about Nina on this channel so far has been just sarcastic bullshit saying she's best girl, but yeah, I'm actually gonna defend her character here. Fuck you. Fans were disappointed by her character most of the time, and this didn't change after the bomb attack either. So what? They wanted her to blow up Ashford Academy? Or, well, she kind of did. But, like, it's not being specific whether it's the Falea or the makeshift bomb. How to join ISIS. She worked with Lelouch. Although Nina had some emotional connection with Lelouch from the beginning, fans couldn't understand how Nina got to working with him. After the bomb devastated Tokyo and its surroundings, Nina had a change of heart and wanted to make up for her terrible deed. This point already raised some questions. However, Lelouch uniting with Nina was among the most surprising twists in the series. It was very unlikely for Lelouch to forgive and trust Nina at all. Forgive her for what? You're the one who killed the person she jacked off to. If anything, she should be forgiving you. And she doesn't by the end of the series. I did that fucking quote that she will never forgive Zero. I had to actually look that up. She says, "Okay, yeah, I'm never going to forgive you, but I felt I should move on," which will also go into another aspect of this. Um Trust Nina at all. She was blindingly trusting of her country. So, I don't know what you would say about that. Because she trusted Euphemia dogmatically. All right, she trusted Schneisel dogmatically. Well, it seems as though she's loyal to her country regardless of whoever's at the helm of it, as long as it's not anybody who's non-Britannian. So I don't know what you mean by distrust. And I'm not even sure if she was told that Lelouch was Zero. So yeah, her character was inconsistent. This is the part that fucking ticked me off. Um, Most fans agree on how inconsistent Nina's character was. In the beginning, she was a shy, silent person and later became a raging madman. Despite viewers seeing her to be an intelligent person, she wasn't able to see the consequences of her actions. So even if Nina changed throughout the series because of all that happened to her, many things are not credible. She changed throughout the series. You hear that? You hear that? That is so inconsistent, guys. You know how when fucking Walter White, he used to be this happy guy, happy-go-lucky. He took it up the ass when anybody would diss him. He was like, oh, hey, yeah, you want to make fun of me? All right, I'm not going to do anything about it. Please don't, but I'm not going to do anything about it. And then he fucking throws an explosive on the floor to scare a mob boss, or not a mob boss, a drug dealer. And then he goes on to like whack 12 people in prison in 2 minutes. Like, this is her character arc. Yes. Yes. This is what her character. I said this before, but she's a school shooter archetype. She's just like shy and submissive, and when somebody asks, "Hey, are you trying to make another Columbine?" she just says, "Oh no," and then she's just polishing her fucking trench coat while doing it. Yet she was a ticking time bomb, basically, who had she had no emotional connections. So all she did was follow the cultural norms of Britannian society, which happened to be xenophobic and racist in nature. Because guess what? When you're colonizing a people and calling them fucking numbers instead of what they're actually called, you might be a bit racist of a nation. Two, she got pardoned. She married Schneisel. Of course she got pardoned. Yes, this is explained. Fans were furious because it was very difficult to understand how she could have just been pardoned for everything she had done. Viewers expected Nina to spend the rest of her life in prison or even be executed. Not many people are forgiven after killing 35 million people. Lelouch even had called her a good person in the conversation, which sounded very odd. Most fans thought it was a very bad example for younger viewers, since shouldn't have been pardoned or treated positively, no matter how much regret she had shown. Very bad example for younger viewers. You mean the younger viewers who saw Colin's fucking titties in episode 3? But like her bare ass titties with fucking nipples flying all over the place. What the fuck? I'd assume that somebody would be able to distinguish fiction and reality if they're watching Code Geass. They'd be at the point where they don't care about fucking tortoise and the hare. They're not gonna like worship that shit like the Bible and take morals from it. Very difficult to understand how she would pardon. I'm pretty sure she was under direct order from Britannia to drop the fucking Flea. So I don't know what you're talking about when you mean pardon. This isn't Spec Ops: The Line where Walker just shoots somebody with white phosphorus and or it was against orders or some shit. I don't know. I've never played the game. I just watched Almighty Lolly's video. Um, but like, yeah, it's not disobeying orders. It's literally following orders. How could she not get in trouble for following orders? Well, like even then, Schneisel could just say, "Hey, she's my fucking wife. Don't lay a finger on her," and then all the Britannian military will just drop fucking dead because he's their best captain commander. I don't remember his rank. I'm tired. She just got over her xenophobia. This is pretty much the only aspect of the article that I can agree on. However, I will say that it had been explained at the end of the series when she said, "I I will never forgive Zero," but then she said like she's gonna let go of her obsessiveness towards Euphemia and her nation, and therefore she will also like let go of her obsessiveness with their values, i.e., being fucking racist. Um, People had some trouble understanding how Nina was instantly cured of her xenophobia after she regretted everything. Her hatred blinded her so badly that she killed 35 million people. She she killed people on accident, but she definitely did it on purpose. Whoa, what's your point? Why would you bring up 35 million if you're saying that was an accident, but you want to say, "Oh no, it was on purpose. She hated those damn Japanese." Like, what? After she realized she was wrong, Nina was even seen to participate in the Valletta and Ogi ceremony, which was a Japanese/Britannian wedding. I'm pretty sure she was from another cultural zone, considering she was a lot darker than the average Britannian. But like for all I know, there were dark-skinned people in Britannia. I thought she was an honorary Britannian when I first saw it, so I was a bit confused by that. That doesn't really matter anymore because this article is shit, though. It showed that she was overall over trauma. For many fans, it caused a little bit of controversy. Now, I cannot confirm nor deny this aspect, but considering this person called it Season 1 instead of R1, despite having heavy spoilers, including stuff at the end of the series, like her working with Lelouch, I don't know if this person's an actual fan of the show. Because I joined the Code Geass hype train in the 2010s, because where it became one of my favorite anime. So I'm not entirely sure of this person's knowledge. Jella via Erhard, ER, ER. Let's see this shit. Sailor Moon. 10 things you didn't know about Sailor Mercury. Everything you didn't know about Bulma's sister Tights. I thought this was just a horny. Gintama. 10 things you didn't know. 10 things you don't know. 10 things to watch if you love Akame ga Kill. Watch paint dry. Yeah, those are some good recommendations if you actually liked Akame ga Kill. Holy shit. 10 things you didn't know. 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 10 things you didn't realize. Sword Art Online. Top 10 most powerful villains. Right? Okay, well, whatever. That actually is alright. 10 things you didn't know. 10 things you didn't know. So this person just seems to write articles, 10 things you didn't know, because they're like, oh, hey, yeah, I know you haven't read this because you're retarded enough to unironically read CBR. So I know you definitely haven't read or watched the source material. So I'm going to give you some facts so that you can pretend as though you did. But anyways, onto her point about her just getting over her xenophobia. She said she would let go of her obsessiveness towards Euphemia and Lelouch at the end of the series, and yeah, that was pretty much it. She didn't seem to. So let's do a little recap for all you fucking ADHD heads. You can just click off the video right now. I don't really give a shit. Um, she was xenophobic. Yes, her culture ingrained it in her mind. Her obsessive love for Euphemia. Yes, Euphemia saved her life and she doesn't have any friends. Her table scenes. Yes, people use weird shit to masturbate with. Her relationship with her classmates. Yes, Millie was her only friend. And she didn't give a shit about everyone else. And even Millie to an extent, considering she was willing to fucking nuke her at the end of R1. Oh, I'm sorry, not R1, Season 1. She didn't seem to understand the power of the Flea bomb. Considering Albert Einstein didn't understand the power of the Fat Man, that is not surprising. That a hormonal teenager wouldn't understand the power of the Flea. She acted erratically most of the time. Yes, school shooters tend to act overly emotional and overly erratic whenever they're at certain points in time, despite being fucking when they're not polishing their fucking trench coats in front of other people. She worked for Lelouch. Yes. Yes, she did. She dogmatically praised her nation, and even if you want to argue that she knew he was Zero, Lelouch could have easily told her about the Zero Requiem. Her character was inconsistent. This is the definition of a fucking character arc, you retard. She got pardoned. Because she was under direct order to fucking nuke Japan. She just got over her xenophobia. That one's actually kind of arguable. So yeah, even though I said I wouldn't make any more shit because I have a lot of shit to do in the next few months. God, this took a half an hour? What the fuck? Okay, yeah, I really gotta start doing my other shit. Like and subscribe if you're new and not retarded.